Hey guys, welcome to Dwarvenkegger. I'm Rob.
I'm Tanner.
And today we're talking about the first video game that actually changed our lives.
That impacted us, made us impacted,
Compacted? Impact.
made an impact on us.
Inside of us. Deep inside of us.
The soul and everything.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
During this discussion, we're going to be revisiting Wychwood Brewery's Hobgoblin. Go ahead and check out our review. Also, like, subscribe, hit the little bell at the bottom, lets you know when our videos are coming out. We really liked this beer in our review. Go ahead and check it out.
It's a good beer.
It was a beautiful beer. I mean,
So we're going to finish the other pint.
Yeah, but we're here again. We're revisiting. That's the official term if you're a beer reviewer. You're revisiting something. No, you bought a 6-pack and you're drinking the other half. You're revisiting.
It's like one of those, I think we should revisit in the same day.
Yeah, I'm gonna revisit that as soon as this one's done.
Hard.
So video games are a huge part of both of our lives. I grew up playing. My first console was the Super Nintendo. Immediately after was the Game Boy Color, but I still very vividly remember getting started with Donkey Kong Country 2 was my first game. What happened was it was Christmas Eve. I went to a family member's house. I think it was my uncle's house, and we were giving out gifts. And somebody got me a Super Nintendo game, and I was like, "Dad, somebody got me a Super Nintendo game, and I don't even have a Super Nintendo." And my dad was like, "Don't worry, son. We'll rent you a Super Nintendo."
Back when you could rent game systems.
You used to be able to do that, okay? You used to be able to rent the Sega or rent the Super Nintendo. So I said, "Okay, that makes total sense." Completely gullible.
Obviously.
Yeah, duh, Dad. So anyway, obviously Christmas morning, I open up a Super Nintendo with Donkey Kong Country 2. I pop it in there, I blow in it because I thought that's what you had to do with every single time. No matter what, no matter how it worked. So
Never mind the degradation of your actual chips and everything.
That had no part in this.
Oh, yeah.
So I pop it in and I'm immediately engrossed. The music, the gameplay. For those of you who haven't played the game, it's a side-scrolling, adventure game. Most of you have probably played Donkey Kong. If you've played Mario, a similar setup, just a different theme. Actually, Donkey Kong originally comes from the Mario game where he's throwing barrels and you got to jump up as Mario to get to the top. And then Donkey Kong had his own game, Donkey Kong Country 1, and then Donkey Kong Country 2 came out. They're all great games. The third one's in it. But they're all great games on Super Nintendo.
Point of order. I do believe that the first game where Mario was the guy was actually still called Donkey Kong.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not old as dirt, so God
damn it.
I wasn't there.
Why would you do this to me?
There's a twinkle in my parents'
Why would
eyes.
you do it?
I'm sorry. But anyway, what affected me so much about this game was not only the music but the gameplay, and it just grabbed you. It was fun, it was challenging, and I mean it really kind of shaped what I look for in games today. Just everything it had going for it. I mean it got me hooked.
What was your?
It was like my drug.
What was your? Well, now you have beer and Coke. Anyway, so what was your biggest? The thing that you followed the most out of that game? What's what you now look for in every single game because of that?
Oh, absolutely, music. Music has to be it. The soundtrack for Donkey Kong Country 2 is fantastic.
Oh.
I mean, it's 16-bit. I mean, but
that's the way to do it.
The way they were able to engage you, and I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say if you play any track off of any level, I automatically know what level you're on. I know what area you're in. I mean, it just sunk into me. And even games now that I play, I look for that music, When I'm playing The Witcher 3, I'm paying attention to that
music.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to that music. When I'm playing Doom, okay, very ominous, heavy metal, ominous. I love it. I mean, it's engaging, but I'm paying attention to those things, and I mean, it has me hooked. Kind of like the Hobgoblin has me hooked to this beer. I really love this stuff.
What was the what was that transition you did there? Was that that on purpose or was
being
it
gross?
Fly?
I don't know. I just like this beer. It is really good. Please check out our review.
It is a really good beer, and I think you would really like it. It's
I think any kind of beer drinker would really like.
Did you just get beer on my carpet?
It's in your carpet now. Sorry, Emily.
Cats will love that.
Tripping around. You think catnip makes them go crazy?
Get some beer in them.
Give them an English ruby beer. That'll make them keep going. So how about you? What was the first game that really got you going?
So I started off with like most 80s kids. Most. I say most because not everybody could afford it, but started off with like most 80s kids with a Nintendo, and we played through the stock game that came with it, which was Mario Brothers, and
it was Duck Hunt too, right?
And Duck Hunt, yep. We had the gun and everything, and that was an extra like $65 for the gun.
Whoa.
So we played that. I didn't buy it, so I didn't really have much of a vested interest in the game. We did a good job with it. We went through Mega Man and stuff like that. And then, gradually we're getting more and more game systems.
Right.
And then finally we come to the game system that I purchased, which was the PlayStation. And with that PlayStation came Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Now, this game completely changed my life because it's not only did it fall into everything that I love, which is the horror genre, but it also gave me a chance to shoot things in the head with really big guns. And
I also love the game. It's fantastic.
It's one of the best. It's not as good as Resident Evil 4, which is still to this day, I think, still considered one of the best games ever.
But they're different though.
Right? Yeah. That's the storyline's completely different. You don't do as much in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis as you do in Resident Evil 4. But Resident Evil 3, the fact that you had the puzzles along with being able to manufacture ammunition, upgrade your guns. That's something that you didn't get a lot of in other video games at the time. It really opened like this broad range of customization. I'm not going to say first-person shooters because it's not, but horror games essentially, and that led wholeheartedly to me being a competitive World of Warcraft Fury Warrior.
Whoa,
and I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
I played World of Warcraft from 2006 until 2 years ago. I played in competitive raiding guilds that got server and world firsts. I never really stepped away from it until just recently. And the reason I stepped away from it is because I just don't have the time. Being a chef, I can't sit around at 10 o'clock at night and do raids anymore. Plus, I'm old and I get sleepy.
Hashtag responsibilities.
Hashtag sleepy old people.
But that's super cool though that that game segued into another game that you love.
Big time though. I mean, this, it's being like the whole concept of like an engrossing game where it gives you a bunch of different options for things, and then you go into an MMORPG where you have literally unlimited options on what you can do,
everything,
and what you do, what you accomplish in the game. Being in a raiding guild where you had world first and server first, and you were the top, Fury Warrior on the server. I got all the cool shit. That was a big thing for me. I really, really tried as hard as I could to be the absolute best. I mean, obviously, I wasn't the best, but I did.
People that dedicate like their lives.
Like there was a mathematician that used to play as a Fury Warrior, and he literally every rotation that he had for any attack was perfect, which means that he was getting maximum damage.
That's crazy.
For every single fight. He was pulling more damage than some of the other people. So his Fury Warrior class had a higher damage rate than, say, like a Warlock who didn't have to dodge as much shit as he did. He would have to run in and out and still pull more numbers than Warlocks. It was crazy.
What I think is cool about that, though, is Donkey Kong Country 2, not nearly as engrossing of a world, but it still has that impact. You can have, there are people out there who, like the original Mario, is going to, they could talk for hours and hours how engrossing and how amazing and everything like that is. It's really just what speaks to you. And actually, I
Are you
think
going
it
to
was.
speak to me?
I'm going to speak to you and them and you guys.
I guess.
I think it was my 11th birthday. I got a PlayStation and I got the game Dino Crisis by
Oh,
Capcom.
Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis.
Yes.
I played the living hell out of that game. I mean, I had entire memory cards, which used to have memory cards for your game systems, but I played the hell out of that thing. I had Dino Crisis memory cards all over the place. But the tie-in is that it came with a demo disc of Resident Evil 3.
Hell yeah.
And I played that over and over and over again. And it's just the first
Like 10 minutes.
maybe even that. Basically, if I remember correctly, there's a cut scene where you come out of a police station or something, and the Nemesis guy is like right there. It's the first time in the game within the first like 15 minutes that you get a real clear shot of him, and then the game stops right there. It's what that demo did everything it was intending to do, because it led to me buying that game.
Yeah, it was. So I remember the scene very vividly. So you deal with Nemesis when you go into the police station.
Who's the main villain?
Yeah, the main villain. And then you deal with him a few times in the police station, and you come out of the police station and you deal with him again, and that's the point.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it was after one of the best parts of the game, which is the police station. Because I mean, the police station was super fun.
Yeah.
You know, you had like dead like zombie cops like crawling. You couldn't see them because of the desks, but you knew that they were there because all of a sudden your camera angle would change as you're being attacked. You had to stomp their skulls in and stuff. Like
the Resident Evil games, I mean, the suspense and horror. I mean, outside of I would say like Silent Hill and now like Dead Space.
Well, even Silent Hill doesn't have the same like they're more of a jump scare, blah blah blah. But like you go and you do something in Resident Evil, and you're just like, I don't know if I even want to freaking go down this like road. Like I'm gonna go the other way and see if there's another way around.
So he mentioned Resident Evil 4. I had that on Nintendo GameCube, and there's a fair amount of jump scares as well as suspense in Resident Evil 4. Of course, you know, like I said, my parents were kind of strict. I mean, they weren't unreasonable, but they were strict.
They used to beat him
with wire hangers. No more wire hangers. But there were so many times that game made me jump, and I'm like, shit, you know, but I couldn't. You couldn't be up in your room and be like, yeah, I'm totally mature enough to play this mature game, and then be like, shit, every time something jumped out at you, because it was a chainsaw guy. It was freaking crazy. It was nuts. But
so Resident Evil 4 I beat. I have it on my PC right now, and I beat it so far since I downloaded it. I've beat it over 120 times on hard difficulty. So I have something like over like $280 million that I'll never spend on anything, because I know where all the bangles and like gems and everything else, and I just sell them, and you know, I use like the rocket launcher and the Tommy gun, and that's it, just unlimited ammo.
Still has time to make these videos, miraculously. With Donkey Kong Country 2, I mean, you pretty much just beat it, and then you beat it again, and then you beat it again. But there's actually some lost levels that were a lot more hard that I got into. But I mean,
yes, the lost levels.
The lost levels. They were.
Could you maybe tell us about those? Because I have absolutely no idea about them.
So during the game, you're a monkey, right? You're a Donkey Kong.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What?
It's Diddy Kong, so it's like Donkey Kong's. I don't know if it's like brother or cousin or something. I don't know. Anyway, you're a little cousin. You're a little one, is it?
Diddy Kong is his cousin.
I have no idea. I don't know. Fact check us. Anyway, you're collecting bananas through the whole thing. Like I said, it's a side scroller. So like where in Mario you'd be collecting the coins, or Sonic you're collecting the rings. You're collecting the bananas, you know, Sonic. You're collecting these bananas, but there were parts of the game that were very difficult to get to, that you could collect these like oversized coins that had the main villain's face on them. If you collected a certain amount of those after you beat the game, or after you got so far, you could pay a certain amount of these coins to have access to these lost levels that were insanely hard. And it was just so cool, because like me, who's beaten the game like, oh God, I don't even know how many times. I mean, you know, it was just
at least three.
At least 3. 6. However many I'm holding up. But I mean, it was that extra incentive, and it just kept me coming back. That music, the gameplay, the boss levels were difficult. I just love it. And I mean, it's like, and there's a lot of nostalgia there, obviously, and it's funny. It's a super random story. I remember plugging in the Super Nintendo, all that stuff, and I remember my dad being on the cord phone. It was attached to the wall, and he's talking to his buddy in Texas, and he's like, "Yeah, Jeff, these graphics are just great, man." He's like, "This is high tech. I mean, this is as good as it gets." But still, I mean, and now you kind of laugh when you play Super Nintendo because you're like, okay, these graphics are like super basic. But at the time, it was everything.
I mean, still though,
everything.
Super basic or not, you know, you look at like Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that. It's like their first kind of like, you know, 3D game. Like, like, you know, like when you're looking at certain things, you know, the things are popping up off the map when they're like Yoshi and shit like that when it's moving.
Yeah.
You know, but then you get into, you know, like Mario 64.
Oh man,
like,
it was just like mind blowing,
unbelievable, because of the sheer fact that I could literally make Mario run in a circle. Seriously,
mind blowing. But it was
3D Mario. It's crazy.
So was, and it's crazy. And I think what's so cool about video games is every generation is going to have a similar story to that. You know, the people who grew up playing Pong, the people who grew up playing Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, 64, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, GameCube,
and then the others.
Yeah, and then, you know, the stuff we play now.
I mean, Xbox is,
you know, I mean, there'll probably be people watching this video by the time like the Xbox like 19 comes out or some stupid shit like that. But I mean,
the Xbox 19.
It's what got you hooked. It's what got you just into these games and had you fallen in love with video games, living that extra life. Being Zelda, going swinging a sword at dragons and collecting rubies, or being a spaceship and shooting up monsters and aliens.
Did you just say being Zelda? Chopping stuff?
Oh no! Oh, I did. That's the worst.
Just for the record.
Oh, you're Link.
It's fucking Link.
Oh no!
Zelda's the princess.
Oh no! Oh god! It was the Hobgoblin. It wasn't me. Oh no!
Shame!
Shame! Oh, you are Link in Zelda. You are going to save Princess Zelda.
Here's the way I see it.
Ugh.
It's so surprisingly enough, it's not even 10 o'clock in the morning for us yet. So we're just it's early.
Half of my diet today has been Hobgoblin and coffee. Like it's just half of what I've had today. And
I haven't even had coffee yet. I've had Hobgoblin and a sandwich.
I'm so disappointed in myself. It's not you, Princess Zelda. It's me.
It actually makes for perfect podcasting because now I have something to hold over your head for the rest of the time.
God, that's so rough.
It is.
That is rough,
but hilarious.
If
so
you've never,
by all means, comment on his misfortune of being terrible. Make sure you subscribe as well because you get to make fun of him for doing stupid things like so. It's empty. Don't throw that one on the floor. You don't want Emily coming back and kicking the shit out of you.
Let's just hope she doesn't watch these.
It's funny that she doesn't really. I mean, she does when I force her to. But
it's like, hey, we'll put this on the TV.
Anyway,
till next time.
So, I'm not ready for that yet.
You're ready.
I have a couple more minutes of talking that I'd like to do.
Well, so I'm just gonna sit here with self-pity,
loathe myself. So, just recently I started playing. Because I got out of consoles for a long time, and I played PC for a long time, and I just bought. I have a 360 over there. I'm going to point there, but you're not going to see it. I bought a 360
it's over there
from a friend, and I got a bunch of cool games from like what is it called? Disc Replay and stuff like that. Great place, by the way.
Check them out. No free ads.
Yeah, no free ads. They owe us money now. I bought Resident Evil 6, and I've been playing it, and I like it a lot because it also, it has, some of the same characters from 4. So it's really fun to to go back and kind of revisit. I didn't play 5. I watched a friend play 5, and I wasn't really into it.
I don't think it's known for being one of the better ones.
Yeah, but 6 is awesome. I'm starting to play Fable 2 because I'm so far behind the times. I have Far Cry 2 for the 360, but I own all the Far Cries for PC, so I've played them. But playing them with a controller in your hand is so much different and so much more enjoyable for somebody that hasn't done it in a long time. I bought Mortal Kombat so that me and my girlfriend can have something to play, and we really have a good time with it, and it's fun.
I get murdered at Mortal Kombat.
That's
So I'm not a button masher. I grew up back in the day where you had to find a cheat code website, print off the cheat sheets, and memorize them, and then do it that way. So
was it Sega that the first Mortal Kombat came out on?
Super Nintendo and Sega. But Sega was the cool one because Sega has blood. Sega had blood.
Right.
Super Nintendo didn't have blood. You had this weird sand-looking stuff. It was just the blood basically, except it was grayed out.
Not the color.
Yeah, it was dumb.
But if I'm not mistaken, Back A was Scorpion's "Get Over Here."
Was it?
Yep. Back A. Because I did it. Only that. Back A. Over and over again.
But that's why I get murdered at those games, because I'm trying to do a friggin' math equation in my head, up, down, left, right, and all that jazz, and my wife is just doing this and just killing me while I'm.
So if I could just give kind of an overview of his wife, she is the only person I've ever met that can actually kick the dog shit out of him at video games.
She's going in for a kill.
It's crazy. Because he's been playing them since he was knee high to an idiot, and it was crazy.
It's insane. I don't know. She has a gift.
He's really good at Tetris, or Dr. Mario?
Dr. Mario. I could slay Dr. Mario.
Yeah, but then other than that,
bring it.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
I
don't
Donkey
play
Kong Country too.
Yeah, well, I mean that's because you didn't have a life, but
yeah, it's dedication is what it's called.
So my game was Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and it opened up a lot of horizons for me, and I don't regret any of my time playing World of Warcraft. I don't regret any of the hours and hours and hours that I've spent on other games or anything like that. If I ever have kids, I don't want them, but if I ever have them,
if life happens,
if we have to adopt, some sort of weird, Quasimodo looking motherfucker, then whatever. He'll stay inside and play video games because nobody wants to play with somebody that looks like that. And,
you're the worst person ever. Good God. Healthy balance.
Healthy balance of what?
Like
of bullying and video games?
No, you don't gotta bully. You just gotta put Quasimodo out on the football field. Let him gain some confidence.
See, what you do is you open a window every now and again, let him smell some of that fresh air so he knows that he's still alive.
While he's playing video games. Because damn it, Quasi deserves some football playtime too.
Yeah, but he...
Or soccer, or hockey.
But the thing is, how are they ever going to find pads to fit that fucking thing on his back?
Can you imagine? Really? Can you imagine the 3-prong, like the 2 shoulder pads, and
the other one on the back?
He'd probably be really good at football actually, because he's making that extra contact.
Well, he also has like crazy strength.
But then it's the way the NFL is today. Will he get in trouble if he leads with his hump? Because you can't lead with your head.
Not if he beats his wife first.
Oh, see, now we're getting all. Don't Quasimodo, our fictional child. Don't beat up your wife on an elevator. Don't do it. Quasi.
Don't haymaker your wife.
Don't.
You know what? I don't haymaker your wife. Period.
Yeah.
Not okay, guys.
Quasi, don't beat women.
Just don't.
What are we talking?
But
about?
Children, maybe.
What are we talking about?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Cheers.
There's nothing on there.